YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, wherever you may be watching me from. I do have an update for you guys. I'm going to put the live news conference in after this. I also spoke with the Bay County Sheriff's Department personally, and they are definitely involved and on top of this. They wanted me to let you guys know that obviously they feel like the threat has dispersed, just to use common sense and make sure you're not, like if there's a crowd of people that looks like it's not a great location or like it might not be safe, to just stay away from those areas. But as of right now, they do believe that all the chaos from those weekend, those people have moved out. They mentioned a mass exodus last night. So we do think that they're gone, but they are also still being very vigilant and making sure that there's no stragglers left behind that may be causing any problems. So they are on top of it. Trust me, they have been working diligently since like weeks before, because they had gotten word of this. But again, they can't stop people from coming to this town. They have to come here and do something first. If you have any video or pictures or anything from this weekend that you personally took or you've personally found, email them to me at lastminutepcb@gmail.com, and I will pass them along to the Sheriff's Department. They can't get a ton of emails to certain servers and stuff like that, so they've asked just to send it to me, and if it looks pertinent, I'll send it on to them. So yes, just know this is not over, and y'all do not need to be scared. If you're coming down, this is great beaches, beautiful location. They're not gonna destroy us. We've been through this kind of stuff before, and we're gonna make it. So here's the news conference, and of course, if you have any questions or anything, let me know. Comment, like, subscribe. Thank you guys for all the shares, likes, posts, all of that. Please keep up to date with me about everything that may be going on in Panama City Beach. It's not always so crazy. We do have a lot of fun stuff here too. So anyway, like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you on the flip side. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you to everybody being here today. Right here today, we stand united as not only law enforcement officials, not only as city leadership, county leadership, but just as citizens of Bay County, Florida. What we saw this past weekend is absolutely unacceptable, period. The behavior of these pathetic cowards that came to our beach and committed these crimes, their actions will not be tolerated, period. Today we're going to talk about this weekend, the preparation for this weekend. We're going to have several of the law enforcement executives tell you what their men and women, their brave men and women did to ensure that the citizens of Bay County remain safe through this, I'll say it, just chaos. Ladies and gentlemen, we can't control who comes to town. And I said this yesterday. But we can control what happens to you when you commit a crime in this town. In front of you, you see a representation of the danger facing our community and our law enforcement officers. These guns were taken over a period of 2 days. It could arm a small army. Semi-automatic weapons, long rifles. These are weapons brought to a resort destination. These were weapons brought to a beach by cowards that hide behind these guns, by cowards that cried when they were approached by true heroes wearing a badge. These individuals will soon find out what justice looks like in Bay County. The individuals that carried these guns will find out what happens when you commit a crime in Bay County. It will not be tolerated, period. I know the frustration is out there by the community, ladies and gentlemen. I know it's there. But as I introduce the executive staff and the city leadership, the government leadership of this community, you're going to hear over and over again that we are frustrated too. And we hear you. We care about you. And we are taking steps. We have taken steps. We are doing everything we possibly can, and we will continue to do everything we possibly can to keep this community safe. Before I pass it over to the sheriff, I do want to recognize the brave men and women working the streets every day. It's a harsh reality that we face. That at any traffic stop that we do, any hotel complaint that we respond to, any offense that we respond to, one of these could come out in a matter of seconds. It's happened here before. The bravery of these men and women is undescribable. If you see the videos of the shooting event, you see our officers running towards the gunfire. So, to the community, we understand your frustration. We feel your frustration. But try to understand that as we are frustrated, we will continue to fight for you. We will continue to pursue justice for you. We will continue to try to keep this community safe. With that said, I will pass it over to Sheriff Tommy Ford.
Thank you, Chief. Good morning. And proud to stand beside Chief Talamettis, Chief Smith, and our other police chiefs and state law enforcement, as well as our community leaders today after a very difficult and trying and dangerous weekend. I'm grateful to be a law enforcement officer in Bay County. No better place in the world to be a law enforcement officer. And to personally witness the service and sacrifice made by our deputies and officers on behalf of the Bay County citizens. We were faced with dangerous circumstances, but stood firm in protecting our county. Each one of these 75 firearms, 75 illegal firearms, these were not legally possessed. They were either involved in a crime or illegally possessed. Many of them are stolen. Each one of these represents a violent encounter with armed encounter with law enforcement. And I'm so proud of the law enforcement officers that stood in that gap, that stood in between you as citizens and the criminals that were carrying these guns and took them into custody. And I'll say I'm proud that they did so without incident. This weekend could have very easily resulted in some tragedies of an officer's loss of life, a citizen's loss of life, or even a bad guy's loss of life that would have been a tragedy. All of those would be a tragedy. But all 75 of these guns, which I hope people can put that in perspective of how significant this is, that we had people, as the chief said, coming to a premier tourist destination and bringing this kind of firepower is absolutely ridiculous, won't be tolerated. Some statistics from this weekend. I know that everybody's interested in that. I'm interested in all my guys getting home, but we will share the statistics. 161 total bookings at the Bay County Jail. 78 people from Alabama alone were arrested. Again, 75 guns seized. 82 total arrests by the Bay County Sheriff's Office and a bunch of arrests by our other agencies as well. I want to talk about some of our successes that we had. We were able to use technology to our advantage, intelligence and technology, and this is an event that we've been planning for and gathering intelligence on for 2 or 3 weeks, and I think that's been a success, and it allowed us to target the bad guys and know where they were, be there before they got there, be there after they got there, and target them and put them in jail. We talked about the Real-Time Crime Center, the Bay Real-Time Operations Center. That's a joint effort between the Sheriff's Office and all our police departments that allows us to leverage technology to target the bad guys, and that surely was a success and a game changer for us. One of the instances was a house party on South Lagoon. Jointly with the Beach Police Department and the Sheriff's Office, we developed intelligence that this Maniac group organizers were staying at a house on South Lagoon having a large pool party on Saturday. We were able to use our resources such as license plate readers and cameras that you can see behind us here, both on our helicopter and stationary locations, to know the locations of these individuals. You may have seen a picture of a male that's circulating widely on social media that's wearing all white and has a rifle stuck in his pants and carrying a gun. We were able to, shortly after that picture was taken in that house, we were able to take him into custody. So those are the things that we have not been able to do before because of our use of intelligence and technology. We'll not tolerate this criminal activity. These are behaviors that we as a community have fought before, won, and moved on to become a premier family destination. If you choose to come to Panama City Beach and commit criminal acts with intent to take over the beach, we'll continue to fight the good fight and dedicate the resources necessary to keep Bay County safe. We are united as one with the support of our elected officials, and I want to thank you all for being here today. They've promised the resources we need to keep our community safe. And I assure you that this will not be a real fun beach at the Bay County Jail. If you come here to act like a criminal, we'll treat you like one. Thank you. Chief Smith.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for being here this morning, and thank you, commissioners, city managers, mayors, for your support and joining us in the unity that the law enforcement has created here in this county now. It's not just different agencies. We are all operating as a single agency. What is laying here in front of me, and for the 75 guns, doesn't represent spring breakers. These represent criminals. These were criminals that came to our city that brought these guns with the intent to commit some type of act. Every time one of our brave officers confronted these 75 individuals and took this gun from them was the opportunity for that brave officer to have lost his life or been forced to take somebody else's life. This is not what Bay County is about. It's not what Panama City Beach is about, and it's not what Panama City Police Department and our city is about. This isn't what we want coming to our city. We want the spring breakers. We want the tourists. We don't want this element. The element that brings this is not the element that's desired in our city. We're not going to be tolerant to it. We're not going to permit it. We're going to give you the most professional and stiff approach that we can. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Sheriff and both chiefs and all the officials that are with me here. I'm honored to be with you, standing here with you, united. But I'm just as honored to be standing as I was yesterday with the brave men and women that are out there every day. We've had things happen this weekend that were out of control, as you've heard. Will not be tolerated in the future. But this is something that goes on every day with these officers out there. And I have a responsibility, not only in this community, but across the Western Panhandle and the state. But the Highway Patrol, we're here to support the communities. And this community especially has been through such hardship. And to experience this after we've gone through so many things after these past few years, it will not be tolerated. But we're here standing as a united front with the police departments, with the sheriff, and all those in this community, all of you, all the citizens. And just to assure you that there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes. We have the resources necessary to take care of what needs to be taken care of. And we're here to make sure that you're safe. Thank you.
Good morning. I just want to reiterate what everybody else has said. If you come to Panama City Beach, if you come to Bay County and you create a crime, I hope these folks can get to you and arrest you. Bottom line, we will not tolerate bad behavior in Panama City Beach in any way, shape, or form. If you want to come here and be a bad person, you picked the wrong place. Sheriff Ford said it right. It's not going to be a real fun beach in the Bay County Jail. I'll promise you that. But what we are is a real fun beach. Panama City Beach is a family destination, and that's not going to change. This was not spring breakers, so trust me when I tell you, this is just a bad element of people who did this. This is a pretty good visual of what was seen this weekend. Our brave men and women were out there tirelessly. I can't thank those folks enough for the dedication they have to keep you safe, to keep all of us safe, to keep my family safe just like yours. We are going to hold a special meeting this Friday morning at Panama City Beach to essentially give every tool that's asked for and needed that we can. We will be out there. We want to make sure that everything is supported in any way. We support this team more than you can ever imagine. And we just want to thank them for their hard work, their dedication, and what they do out there fighting these criminals every day. Again, if you're a criminal and you want to have fun, this ain't the place to do it. Find a new home.
Well, I think that does not represent a united front. I don't know what does. Behind you over here, you guys can see pictures of 6 individuals taken into custody at the shooting event. Sorry, don't even have my glasses. Mr. Sanders over here, he was seen with AR-15 near the shooting grounds. He's currently being held for a gun offense. He is still a subject of the investigation. However, in reference to the shooting, anybody has any questions about the current standings of the investigation, it's still ongoing. Over here, on this side, I know there's a viral video floating around about some just disgraceful and undescribable conduct that was occurring at the Walmart in the east end of the city limits. This is Doobie Dog Webster. He's probably as dumb as his name. We have people, Mr. Doobie Dog, already ratting you out. We're going to find you. We're going to hold you accountable for the absolute destruction that you caused in that story. That goes for everybody else that we can identify in that video. If you think you got away with it, you're wrong. We have very, very good detectives. Just because you made it home does not mean you are going to stay at home. Period. A lot of talk about the preparation about spring break. I've talked to the sheriff and the chief probably more than I've talked to my wife over the past couple months in preparation for this event. These that we put in place weeks and months in advance. Understand this is not our first spring break. However, in regards to these, what we will call social media, social influencer events, there's no framework anywhere. Trust me, we have looked. There's no framework in place to judge how a social influencer or a social media event would impact occupancy in any municipality. One post can go viral, one post can be a dud. It's hard to gauge that. What we saw today, or this weekend, was a social media influencer that had a lot of followers and a lot of people wanting to follow his nonsense. In the future, moving forward, we have learned lessons from this past weekend, as the sheriff would attest to, as well as the chief would attest to. We will continue to develop our strategies in regards to these social media, social influencer events. However, understand there are many municipalities also facing these challenges, and they are also looking into these issues. Staffing. We could only put so many police officers out at any given time because they have to come into work the next day. They have to get at least 1 hour of sleep a day. They have to use the restroom, grab a bite to eat. They're not robots, they're human beings. Trust me, they are as affected about what, if not more, about what transpired out there than the most of the people looking at this conferences are. It pains me to sit up here, and if I sound angry, it's because I am. I'm upset that I have to stand up here. I'm upset that they have to stand up here. I'm upset that I'm looking at all these weapons that we found on my beach. And we're going to do everything we possibly can to ensure something of this magnitude doesn't happen again. With that, we'll take a few questions.
Quickly, I know you've probably seen the social media posts as well saying part 2 in April, part 3 in May, stuff like that. Is that correlating? Again, you said it's hard to gauge when social media stuff takes off. Is that something you're looking at? And in that, are you considering extending spring break laws through April?
So look, there's a fine line between being prepared and being paranoid. Okay, we are assessing the situation. We are looking at the subject matter within those posts. But make no mistake, the people that came over here and tormented us for the 2 days that they were here are continuing to get enjoyment by trying to torment the community from home. Period. Don't fall into that trap. We are looking at it. We have very smart and skillful analysts and detectives and police officers looking into the potential threat assessments for these ongoing posts. If we identify anything at all that shows we will have anything even remotely close to this type of situation, we will be prepared. And they will be faced with serious consequences if they show up.
know some of the flyers that were going around social media had some of our local businesses here on the promotion. So kind of how are you guys handling that as far as maybe businesses being a part of this?
You cannot put profit before public safety. And that's what everybody needs to understand. The moment you do that is a recipe for disaster. A lot of the business owners stepped up this weekend. They saved us so much heartache. And without them cooperating and independently closing their doors and help us manage that specific area in which their business is surrounded, it helped us manage the crowd and get a hold of the situation faster. We have representatives of the business community standing behind us, or standing behind you, because they understand that it is a partnership that needs to be established in order to get a hold of this. And, to those individuals that, want to cater to people from outside of our area coming here to victimize our community, even after we told them that's what's going to happen. To them, I say, well, we might have a conversation pretty soon.
Do we know if people with this group are still here, if they're planning to leave, or if more are planning to come?
We saw a mass exodus yesterday after the shooting. We stayed out late last night just doing a threat assessment, ensuring that the community is safe. Currently, as we stand right now, it doesn't appear that this specific group is still in town. However, we are on guard and we are still looking.
Gotcha. And I know you just said too, there's a fine line between prepared and paranoid, but it's something that's been on people's minds too, especially in the weekends to come. Are curfews on the table following suit? I know Miami just instituted one as well. Is that something you guys are looking at as far as risk assessment?
Nothing is off the table, period. I think city leadership, sheriff, our county officials, city management can say that our number one job is to keep the people safe, to keep the community safe. And that's what we're going to do. In closing, does anybody want to add anything? Thank you for being here. And no matter how hard these individuals try to divide us, sooner or later they're going to understand it. This only makes us stronger. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. I am sorry that my channel took off because of this type of event, but I am thankful for all the likes, comments, shares, all the information you guys have been sending me. I really appreciate it. And again, stick around if you want to see the fun side of Panama City Beach and not just the chaos that happens, because I am here to bring you all that information as it comes live and as it happens. So anyway, I hope you're having a great day, and I look forward to seeing you on the flip side.